Welcome to Şanlıurfa, one of the most awe-inspiring places in Turkey, where history, faith and legend collide. Today we're visiting the sacred waters of Balıklıgöl, a place that has drawn believers and history lovers for centuries. Imagine this: a tyrant named Nimrod orders the Prophet Ibrahim (A.S.) to be thrown into a blazing fire, but as he falls, a miracle unfolds. The fire cools and transforms into water, and the coals turn into fish. Living reminders of this divine moment. These aren't just any fish, they are the black-colored carp of Balıklıgöl, each one a silent witness to an incredible story of faith and resilience. Join me as we explore this legendary site, diving into the history, the miracle, and the spirituality that continue to make Balıklıgöl a symbol of hope and faith. So today we are here at Balıklıgöl, and this particular lake here is called the Halil-ür Lake. And this is where it's believed that Nimrod, who was one of the massive tyrants ever in history mentioned in the Quran, he threw Ibrahim (A.S.) into a fire. And he instructed the locals, he instructed the people of the town, he instructed his workers and those that were under his command to get firewood so that this fire will be immensely powerful. And so they put him into a fire, and the fire is believed to have lasted for 40 days. But as you would have read in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal, he instructed the fire to become cool, so it doesn't have any effect. And miraculously, Ibrahim (A.S.) was saved. Now, the fire turned into water, so that's the other miracle. So the water that you see over here in this Halil-ür Lake is from the fire. And you also see these black fishes or carp fishes. And these carp fishes are from the firewood that was used to make sure that the fire is really, really powerful. So you see two things here: the fire turning into water and the firewood that was used by the townsmen and by the supporters, or by those that were commanded by Nimrod. It turned into these black carps. So the great thing over here is that you can get some fish food and then give some food to these wonderful fishes over here. And they have this distinct way. So carp fishes have this sort of like a round circular shape. So when you're throwing it, you can see that they are ascending up and have this like an O shape to their mouth. And also on the other side, so this is where Halil-ür Lake is. But if you look on that side over there, you won't be able to see it properly because there's a lot of trees here, but there's a hill up there. And if you go all the way up there, it is believed to be the place where Nimrod lived. He is from up there, and you can go up there. There's a lot of people that actually go up there and see some of the ruins up there. I don't feel like going to places where tyrants have been because the energy is not good there. But alhamdulillah, when you come to a place like this, especially where this is a major miracle, like you see in Musa (A.S.)'s time, he miraculously was able to split the sea. And this is another miracle. And another thing that's remarkable is that the color of the fishes are like black. It's like the coal or the fuel that would have been used to, ensure that the fire is going to be that powerful. So that's amazing. You see, this is the food that we give to the fishes over here, and you see them all running towards it. Let me give you a demonstration. They're gonna all come together. If I throw this, look at that. And alhamdulillah, it's a peaceful feeling just to give them some food. So like you see Yunus (A.S.) time, he went into a whale for like 40 days. You see the time of Musa (A.S.) that the water was split. You see many of these miracles, and Ibrahim (A.S.) he had a tremendous miracle here. And he had a very long life, and he had different stages of his life, like from when he was younger to when he had his son Ismail, and he was ordered to sacrifice him. So this is in his earlier part of his life, and it's a wonderful story, and it certainly inspires you immensely. And these stories are always there to inspire you. Now, for me, this place is very special. Alhamdulillah. I've traveled to, I think, 23 countries, and I've been to Turkey many times. I've lived here in Turkey. I've been to many places in my life, traveled thousands of miles. I may not have traveled to too many countries, but what I've done is I've always tried to go to many countries, repeat times. But from all of the memories and all of the thousands of miles I've traveled, my top three memory, like when I think of what is my favorite trip ever, this is in the top three. Because one, it's sentimentally, for me personally, it's special because I came here with my father. My father, he passed away last year. My late brother, when we came here 6 weeks after, he passed away as well. This was about in 2010. So when you come here, I just think about, they were with me. And this is why it's special for my family as well. But also, these places are blessed. So I showed you Halil-ür Lake. So as I said to you, that was a fire and it turned into water. But they also said that there's another part of the lake over here. And some of the legends believe that it was formed from the tears of Nimrod's daughter. This whole area is quite a nice area. Like there's all of this greenery here. And as you can see up there, so they said up there is where Nimrod's palace was. So all the ruins up there exist. So that's fascinating because look how close they are. Look how close Nimrod is from the event that took place here. But as I said to you, I don't want to go to places where tyrants of that nature have been, because it's just the energy is just off there. And look at this. This is there's also nice places to sit over here as well, to have some tea and coffee, and to even have some food and snacks. You see all of these. You see some of these fishes that I mentioned to you, the carp fishes. You'll find them in these lakes over here as well. And you also feel like giving them food to this part of the lake, because many of the people come over there and they're giving food to them. So you feel like giving food on this area, because I'm sure significantly less people are giving it to them in this areas. Look at that wonderful little fountain there in the middle. There's little boat rides there also, but maybe in the summer they might be operating properly. Now, what's interesting is that there's been many tyrants that have come and they've been mentioned in the Quran. And it's important to read about these tyrants because by them being formidable, you also see the greatness of the prophets. That's one thing. But Nimrod, he was punished in a very incredible way. So he claimed divinity. He actually made a building structure where he wanted to compete with God. And he wanted to make the tallest building of his time, to the point that it reaches the skies. And he asked people that were working for him to make such a structure. But eventually, his tyranny went on for years and years. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, with his divine wisdom, what he did was to give a lesson to many of us to read the Quran, that listen to it, that he was defeated, not by any man or by any government or state. He was defeated by a mosquito, and not only a mosquito, by a disabled mosquito that went through his nose, and he would constantly just tap onto his brain, to the point that he just couldn't sleep for many days, for many weeks, possibly going into months. And it was just tap onto his brain. And then he got humiliated so much, like considering that he was claiming divinity and everything, that he would ask those that were his servants to get shoes and hit him on the head. So they'll get shoes, bang him in the head. And when it was to bang him in the head, he used to feel a little bit of relief. But as soon as they stopped doing that, the mosquito would keep tapping into his brain, keep tapping down. Then they go, bang. And initially, the servants didn't want to do that because they know that he's an aggressive, an evil guy. But eventually, they grew fed up of him. And eventually, they banged him on the head so much so that his brain just got damaged and his skull was damaged and he died. And then that mosquito was no longer a mosquito. It came out kind of equivalent to the size of a bird and just flew off. And people saw that with their eyes. We, as humans, we all have to derive lessons from that. We can't just say that, oh, this is Nimrod and oh, he's a tyrant. We have to look at ourselves as individuals. I have to look at myself. Everyone has to look at themselves and say that we can never really get too ahead of ourselves and be arrogant, because it only takes a little mosquito like that to take you down. When this guy, he had all of this, he had such a big kingdom, he had such people used to be intimidated of him. Like initially when Ibrahim was born, there was a prophecy that a boy would be born and he would take down his kingdom and his religion. So he started killing all of the males and everyone was scared and terrified. So someone of that level of power, someone so formidable, the way he died, it's incredible. So these are all things that you're reminded of when you come to these places, and it puts things into perspective. So anyways, I'm gonna look at maybe a place to sit down and have some chai. And hopefully you're enjoying this. Make sure to like the video. Okay, so this restaurant is called Gol Cafe, which is based here in Şanlıurfa. And today I'm gonna have beiti, and this is kebab, which is in these wraps, and also in
You can get it in bits as well. So it's got some tomatoes, some yogurt, and let's see how this is. So it's got, I can feel the tomato texture. Okay, let's have this. Bismillah. It's really good. There's a little hint of spice in it. The kebab's really nicely cooked. He took about, I think, 20 minutes to cook this, but yeah, he's done a good job. Worth a try, you know, if you're in Turkey, especially if you're here in this region, Şanlıurfa, all of that. So yeah, I'm impressed, I'm happy. Okay, so behind me is the night view of Balıklıgöl, which you can see. Obviously, I highly recommend that you come over here and see it during the nighttime, because during the daytime, you have a different charm. During the nighttime, you have a different charm. It reminds me of the last time when I was here. My brother was with me, my father was with me. They're not here anymore, but the memories are definitely here. And I remember the first time I came here 12 and a half years ago. I remember the daytime feeling, which was extraordinary, and the nighttime feeling. It was also extraordinary, but it's different. It just feels really serene to be here. And considering the history, how significant it is that a prophet of the stature of Ibrahim alayhi salam was just over here, is, you know, each time you think about it, you can't really begin to grasp how amazing that event is. And the fact that he survived it through the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's a story that really inspires you whenever you listen to it or whether you read it from the Quran itself. I'm just immensely honored to be in a place like this, of this caliber, you know, with such historical significance. Door behind me, and you can get some of this food for the fish. It's about 5 Turkish liras. So you can, you know, begin to feed the fish over here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this, you can see the fish running towards it. Wow. Quite a few of them. Let's go here. Yeah, they must be hungry. It's a lot of them. There's some smaller ones here. Let's go to them. They get a chance as well to have.
Make sure to check out my other videos in the Urfa series, where I visit the cave where Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was born, and the sacred cave of Prophet Ayub alayhi salam, where he spent time during his trials. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated on every new adventure. Don't forget to like and share this video to support the channel. Let's keep uncovering the stories and heritage of Urfa together. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.